Hello everyone. This video will cover factoring by substitution. Okay, so we'll go over each step individually and hopefully it will all make sense. Okay, so what if we wanted to factor m minus 6 squared plus 5 times m minus 6 plus 4. Okay. Now here are the steps to solve this one. Okay. Now your first step is you want to temporarily replace m minus 6 with any variable. You can use x, you can use y, doesn't matter at all. Whichever one you're comfortable with. Okay, so temporarily replace m minus 6 with a variable. Okay, so that means our m minus 6 squared plus 5 times m minus 6 plus 4 becomes, and this is where we're just going to let x equals m minus 6. Like I said, you could use y, you can use any variable you like. It doesn't matter at all. You can use r, s, whatever. All the same. Okay, so instead of m minus 6 squared, we'll get x squared. So you have x squared plus, instead of 5 times m minus 6, we have plus 5x. And just bring our plus 4 right next to it. Okay, so that brings us to our second step, which means we're just going to factor. Okay, so if we have our x squared plus 5x plus 4, well, let me straighten that out a little bit there. Here we know our b is equal to 5 and our c is equal to 4. So it's in the x squared plus bx plus c form. So we just have to find two numbers that multiply to equal c, which is 4. And those same two numbers add to equal b, which is 5. Okay. If you've seen the previous videos, you know that if the absolute value of those two just differ by 1, you can just use 4 times 1 and 4 plus 1. Alright, so that means we have the factor of x plus 4 times x plus 1. Okay, so we factored that one. Okay, but we're not done yet. Because remember, we have to solve for m. Okay, it has to be m plus something and minus something. Here, you can't just replace it and solve it and think, okay, we're all done. Okay, so now we have to replace x with m minus 6. Remember, this is just temporary. Okay, so your third step. Replace x with m minus 6 and simplify. Alright, so go ahead and slide that up there. Okay, so we have our x plus 4 times x minus, well, times x plus 1. X plus 4 times x plus 1. If we replace x with m minus 6, that will become m minus 6 plus 4. And m minus 6 plus 1. Okay, so now we just go ahead and combine those two. So negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. So that becomes m minus 2. And negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So you have m minus 5. Okay, so that would be your factored answer. Okay, so 3 steps. Alright, so let's go ahead and do another example. If you're still writing, by all means, press pause and finish up. We're going to go ahead and go to our next example. Okay, so let's say, for example, we want to factor by substitution. Say 3y minus 2 squared minus 3y minus 2 minus 2. Okay, so we're going to solve this using the exact same technique we used on the last example. Okay, so first, we're going to temporarily replace 3y minus 2 with a variable. That's the key word, temporarily. Replace 3y minus 2 with, and I'll pick x. Yeah, like I said, you can pick x, you can pick m, you can pick any variable you like. Okay, so that means our 3y minus 2 squared minus 3y minus 2 minus 2 becomes, instead of 3y minus 2 squared, we'll just get x squared. And instead of minus 3y minus 2, it's just minus x. And then you just have your minus 2 right at the end. Okay, so now we do our second step, which is just to factor. Okay, so x squared minus x minus 2. We see here that our b is equal to negative 1. And our c is equal to negative 2. So that means we have to find two numbers that multiply to equal c, and those same two numbers add to equal b. Okay, remember, when the absolute value differs by just 1, you have negative 2 times 1 and negative 2 plus 1. Okay, so that means when we factor this, it's going to be x minus 2, x plus 1. Okay, then our third step, we're just going to replace the x's back with 3y minus 2 and simplify. Okay, so third step, replace x with 3y minus 2 and simplify. Okay, so we have x minus 2 times x plus 1. We're going to replace the x, so that gives us 3y minus 2. Remember, that's just the x replaces that, but we still have that minus 2 there. And instead of x plus 1, you have 3y minus 2 plus 1. Okay. So the most we have to do here is just combine our like terms. Okay, so you have 3y, negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. And here, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So you have 3y minus 1 and that's it. Alright, and that's your answer. Okay, so we're going to do one more example, and I want you to try this last example. Okay, so what if we factor by substitution? Let me clean that up a little bit. Okay, so factor by substitution, x minus 4 squared minus x minus 4 minus 72. Alright, and I want you to start this one on your own. So go ahead and press pause and work this one out. Alright, so I'm assuming you've pressed pause, you've worked this one out. So now we're going to go ahead and just verify that your answer is correct, because you all are extremely intelligent. Okay, so your first step, you're just going to replace your binomial. So we're going to replace x minus 4 with y. Okay, so you want to pick a different variable. You don't want to pick x, because replacing x minus 4 with x can get a little confusing. So that's why I picked y. Alright, so that means our x minus 4 squared minus x minus 4 minus 72 becomes, instead of x minus 4 squared, we'll just have y squared. So y squared minus, instead of minus x minus 4, it's just minus y. Minus 72. Okay, so our second step, we factor. Okay, so if we have y squared minus y minus 72, y squared minus y minus 72, we see here that our b is equal to negative 1, and our c is equal to negative 72. Okay, so there's nothing in front of the first term. So that means we just have to find two numbers that multiply. Actually, I'll put it on the right, so I'm not running out of room on the bottom. Okay, so we have two numbers that multiply to equal our c. And those same two numbers add to equal our b. Okay. Now here we see that our multiplication is negative. So that means one of these would have to be negative, because positive times negative is negative. Okay, and we can see here, because this is a negative 1, that the larger number will be negative. Okay, so if you look, you'll see that 9 times 8 is 72. And negative times positive 8 is negative 72. And negative 9 plus positive 8 is negative 1. So that means our factor is y minus 9 and y plus 8. Okay, so we have our factor. Okay, now our third step, we just replace y with x minus 4 and simplify. Okay, so replace y with x minus 4 and simplify. And remember, simplify just means combining like terms. Okay, so y minus 9 plus times y plus 8. Okay, so we replace our y with x minus 4, so that'll be x minus 4 minus 9. x minus 4 minus 9, and x minus 4 plus 8. And then we just go ahead and combine those like terms. Okay, so negative 4 minus 9 is negative 13, so x minus 13. And negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4, so it'll be x plus 4. Okay, now that is your final answer. Okay, the only difference between these and the previous factors is that you can't just apply the FOIL method and end up right back where you started. It's a whole lot of other steps involved. Okay, so that's why you can't check these using the FOIL method. You can, in fact, go from this step and backwards and go all the way to the beginning. Alright, so hopefully that made sense, and I will see you on the next video.